Wow, another win for Morris Fischer, LLC. This is an MSPB case versus the Department of Homeland Security. So what else is new? Just doing what we do here, which is doing our best to win these cases. This is a wrongful termination case. My client was terminated for a lack of candor, which was mitigated by the administrative judge to a 30-day suspension. And the judge didn't actually believe my client or her story, and she still won. So how was that? Well, we're going to get into all of that. First, there were actually three claims. There was a discrimination claim, there was a whistleblower claim, there was just the wrongful termination claim. This was a classic mixed case in front of the Merit Systems Protection Board. The judge did not find for my client on the two minor claims, but he certainly did on the biggest claim, the one with the biggest bang for your buck, getting my client's job back, getting what appears to be actually close to 2 years of back pay because she still hasn't been restored to her position, which is a whole other fight unto itself, but we're getting there. And the government assures me that will happen very, very soon. Here are the basic facts in this case. So a federal employee works for DHS, has a side real estate business, and she completes an outside activity request for approval form in 2017 for the year 2018 so she can continue her real estate business. She renews it in 2019 and discloses it in 2019. Later, her supervisor in 2019 says to her, by the way, this is after her performance rating was acceptable, I think your performance is not good. I think it's because of your real estate activity. You need to stop that. Now, mind you, the supervisor had no basis for this claim. This could have been racism, could have been jealousy, could be anything. And it is a central part of how the judge makes this decision, as you'll see. But just moving on with the facts, in 2021, she submits her Office of Government Ethics form. This is a 450 confidential financial disclosure report that lists her involvement with the real estate company. And then her supervisor, upon seeing this, flat out asks her, well, Ms. Direct Report, did you perform any duties with XYZ Real Estate Company in 2020? And my client says, no, I did not. The government finds that suspicious, finds some real estate listings on social media with her name attached to it, and we actually retained an expert witness in the real estate field to dispel that. It's not in her control. She never paid a fee for those sites, so on and so forth. But the judge says, I've got something which is as bad for your client, Mr. Fischer, that the employee says in her response to the inquiry, in response to this proposal when she wasn't represented, yeah, actually, she did do some work. She finished up her transactions when she was told not to. Therefore, that is a lack of candor. All right, how then does this person win is the key question if the judge doesn't believe her. Because my client had alleged, yeah, I finished up some transactions, but that's not really working for real estate business. That's just me avoiding getting sued by people, and really she should have just said that, but at the end of the day, she wins anyway. And how? Well, there's the old hypothetical story about the lion who breaks away in a safari and is headed towards you and your group of friends. Do you have to outrun the lion? No, you do not. All you have to do is outrun some members of the group of friends, because the lion is going to devour them, not you. And it's similar in these MSPB hearings. A lot of times, all you have to do is be more likable than the supervisor. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, the judges are human. And the appellant testifies first in almost all of these hearings, especially if there's a whistleblower issue. And the government's aim is to make this person who brought the case despisable. She is responsible for assassinating Abraham Lincoln, starting the COVID pandemic, you name it. It's Mr. Fisher's client has brought misery onto the world. And you have to ask yourself, why do you need a hearing here? Do you always need a hearing? Answer, not always. And here, a hearing would have hurt the employee. Okay, now look at some of the key pages of this opinion. And the judge goes through, this is pages 21 and 23 of the opinion, and it's redacted. And the judge goes through the Douglas factor analysis, the 12 factors in terms of was discipline warranted. And this is after the judge has already found, I don't believe this federal employee. And the judge really goes to town on the deciding official. The judge says, the decision notice provided no penalty analysis from his perspective, and in its place adapted in full that of the proposing official. I'll tell you what's amazing is this copy and paste job that people do. Judges don't like it. They like to see original thought, particularly from agency managers and supervisors. The judge goes on. The deciding official failed to address a single substantive point raised by the appellant in her written reply to the proposal. The appellant had 10 years of service with the agency. She had 20 years of federal service without discipline. None of this was considered. Here's the big one. The judge really doesn't like the supervisor's contention that the employee's bad performance was her death knell. First, he finds that the inability to complete tasks, inattention to her official duties, failing to exercise due diligence. I wrote in my notes here, as you can see, a pile on. This judge goes through all of these things of basically, you're claiming she was a lousy employee. Where's the evidence for that? It has to be more than self-serving emails by these federal managers that say, I think you stink. Show us the work product. Show us what the person did. And the judge really didn't like what the agency did here. And for that reason, my client basically outran the other members in that group. And the lion here, the judge, devours the worst of these, the slowest of these, and that is the federal managers who put this cockamamie proposal to remove and decision notice together. If you've suffered a wrongful termination, you need a law firm with the experience to make these kinds of judgments and strategy calls. There was no hearing in this case. It was decided on the record. That was my decision. I knew that was the right decision, and it won. And I'm just putting out this disclaimer. We don't win every case. No lawyer does. But we know what gives you the best chance of winning. The key decisions, like should we do a hearing or what should go into evidence, that can make all of the difference in the world in your case. We invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also we invite you to send any comments you may have if you want to hear future podcasts on some issue that's really important to you that we haven't done yet. Let us know that, and we can do that.